When it comes to Mario Party games, the one that will always remain the best in my heart is Mario Party DS. Ever since I got it one Christmas morning with the EB Games green U sticker still attached, the game has had me hooked to both screens. So I thought it would be fun to pick up the game again for the first time in a few years and rank all the minigames using everybody's favorite format, a tier list. Before getting into the ranks, please drop a like and subscribe for more videos like this in the future, would really appreciate it. Now then, let's begin. So I'm going to go in order of minigame types, being free-for-all, battle, 2v2, 1v3, and then all the boss minigames. And there are puzzle minigames, but those don't appear in the regular board gameplay, and I never played them, and I don't care to actually try them out, so they're not going to be part of this. If you complain, it's my list, shut up. Anyways, okay, let's get the list started with Goomba Wrangler. So a pretty simple game. You circle Goombas on the bottom half of the screen. Golden ones come up there worth like triple, I believe. And if you circle a bomb, it halves your score, so you try to avoid it. Simple. Sometimes it does feel like if you do a circle, it doesn't fully register, so you have to close it, so it can be a bit finicky. But still a fine game. I'd give it a C tier. Next is Rail Riders. You coast down the railing on a leaf, flick down with the stylus to speed it up, and the farthest wins. Most mini games have the characters being small because that's part of the story of the game, and this one kind of showcases it. Really like the concept of it. I prefer swiping the stylus over mashing. My bias, but you know. And I'll put it in the A tier. Really like the concept. I think it's executed very well. Next is probably the weakest of all the free-for-all minigames, Dress for Success. So you pick a card after it's shuffled that's like the body of a character, and you try to pick the right one. Pretty boring, feels long. Biggest complaint I have is like everyone's screen is separate, so if you're playing with someone else or a computer, it's not like the first to select the right one wins. They each have their own set, and it's probably the weakest part about it, which is why it goes in D tier. Next though is probably one of the best of the whole game, which is Camera Shy. A first person shooter, and you're in like a hay maze. Take a picture of each opponent to win. You can't just do first to 3 total, you have to take a picture of everyone. Easily one of the best, like an interesting take on a first person shooter and as a minigame, and it goes in S tier. Next we have Hedge Honcho. So you move hedges out of the way and be the first one to the end, which is like a little marsh or a spring. Sometimes 2 ladybugs show up and 2 bees show up. You have to rub the ladybugs off the leaf before you can swipe it away, and you try not to touch the bees or it will attack you and you get stuck. Great minigame, really like it. A tier. Next is Study Fall, which is a nice game of chicken. Basically, you jump off a chalkboard and you try to closest to the red line without going over. Pretty similar to the Chain Chomp minigame, if you know. The one where basically you have to light the flashlight before it gets you. However, I think this one's, out of the concept of this one, actually a lot better and done really well. I'm also putting it in the A tier. Next is Domino Effect, which basically you're on little dominoes and you have to hit the buttons that appear. The fastest wins. Not an original concept, but I think it's done pretty well. Not too much to say, put it in B tier. Another one is one of my personal favorites coming up, Cherry Go Round. Essentially, this one's just doing hammer flip a cherry on a cake, and you spin it quickly with the stylus. Love the theming, think it's executed great. To win it, obviously just whoever throws it the farthest wins, so basically, essentially a mashing game if you think about it that way, but again, since I don't have the stylus, I prefer it. And S tier, I love it. This next minigame is a bit boring, but I think it's fine. Trace Cadets. You trace shapes to fill in the blocks as they appear on the top screen, and you have to fill out the whole thing first. Sometimes it can feel a little bit finicky, and the theming is pretty boring. And there is a better version of this game, I feel like, in the doubles version, when I'll talk about it later. C tier, it's fine. I don't hate when it comes up, but it's like, I prefer a lot of others. Next, we have Soccer Survival. Pretty simple minigame. Goombas kick soccer balls at you to try to avoid it. As it goes on, it gets a bit harder as they start to add spins to it. Yeah, last one standing wins. It's a fine game. It's like a standard ball comes towards you, try to avoid a minigame, and I put it in the C tier. Fine. Kind of like when it comes up, but I'm not like dying to play it every time. Next is Hot Shot. So I think this is probably the one that uses the best utilization of the top screen and the bottom screen. The bottom screen, you pull back an arrow and try to use it to aim for targets on the top screen. Both screens aren't usually used well. Usually it's just one end shows a map and then one you play on. This one is actually used the best. The little nitpick I have with it is a lot of the time you are the blue cursor, and that can sometimes put on the screen because you are player one, you're going to be blue, and that kind of makes it a bit more difficult. A tier though, really great minigame. Next is Call of the Goomba. It's an interesting one. It's a music game where you have to crank the music player to the right rhythm to recreate the tempo and use that to attract Goombas. Whoever attracts the most wins. This game is very frustrating until you get the hang of it because you have no sense of rhythm. You're just like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? And you may be wondering, how do Goombas hear this? They don't have ears. I don't know. I think it is a good audio game. Fun when it comes up, and it can be a bit frustrating, but it goes in the B tier. I think it's good. Pedal Pushers. Pedals for the left and right pedal, fastest wins. Non-original concept for a minigame, and it's like a smaller version of everyone's where you have like a racetrack. Overall, it's a bit I think it's an okay racing game that's been done better in other games, and that's why I put it in C tier. Next is roller coasters. So it's in a sandpit obstacle course. It is a race, and you're on top of the rubber ball, and you have to swipe to make it to the end the fastest. I think it's executed well. However, controlling the ball is okay, not the best. And there are other racing games I tend to like a lot more in this game, which gives it a B tier. Get the lead out. You're smash A. I really do like the theming of this minigame, which gives a lot of extra points, but it's similar to like a Pokepom where you just smash A fast, and whoever has the farthest wins. Give it a B tier. Shortcut Circuit is a coin minigame, and it's interesting. It's a little strategic. You lay down tracks, and other people can take your tracks to try and line up with the coins. You have to be smart with it, because if you place it too early, your opponent will get the coins before you. It's probably one of the better coin minigames, but for most coin minigames, I'm not usually the biggest fan. And I put it in the B tier. It's pretty good. Next is Big Blowout. This is probably one of the first mic minigames I'm talking about. I think it's a lot of fun to be have with the mic minigames, especially if you're in public with your friends just blowing, everyone looking at you really funny. But it's pretty simple. You can see candles, you try to blow. The amount you blow, the more it get blown out at a time, and the fastest wins. I think it's a really fun concept where you race across the candles and to blow them out, and I think it's a good little race game. I give it an A tier. Next is Trash Landing, which I think is a nice mix between skill and luck. So the luck comes in, you pick a rope and you don't know what you're going to land on. And then later you go down and depending on the rope you pick, you have to land on a piece of trash. You land on it, you win. However, it's different sizes. So that's where the fun of this comes in, I feel like. There's a nice luck element of it, which I think is a nice thing to have in a Mario Party minigame. I know some people may differ, but I think it's good. And then actually you have a bit of skill at the end. So that's why I give it the S tier. This one is just pure luck. It's Cheep Cheep Champs. You pick a rope, pray it holds the Cheep Cheep up. If not, you fall into the water and you're eliminated. Standard luck minigame. Think it's fine. C tier. I don't hate it if it comes up, but yeah. There's more interesting luck minigames than this. Wompathon. So there's basically locked in like a little rectangle and you have to avoid getting hit by the womp. Fine minigame, fine execution. There's a bit of strategy with it as you can push your opponents into the womps, and there's once they're a hole in the ground, once they get crushed, you can't go there so that it can't trap people. There's a bit of strategy that way. Not the most interesting concept, and I think there is a better version of this later on, and that's why I only give it a C tier. Next is Twist and Route. So your little toy car, you have to crank the little gear key, whatever you call it, with the stylus, and then it winds down. You go as far as you can, try to avoid the little pit traps that slow you down. I think it's really well executed, maybe a bit overly complex in a way, but I think it's still fun, and I give it a B tier. Next is Crater Crawl, where you're trying to escape a volcano, mash A to move up, and then you steer to the sides to avoid the lava. A little bit of strategy if you can try and push your opponent into the lava. Overall, though, it's a bit It's like, if it comes on, cool. If it doesn't, fine. C tier. Boogie Beam, you have to strike a pose depending on the light either flashes on you or doesn't flash on you. It's just Shy Guy Shez pretty much. I think a less interesting version of it. It's not really getting faked out. There's a nice simplicity to it though. However, I'd rather just play Shy Guy Shez for comparison. And that's why it goes in the B tier. Still a fun time, but I think there's a better version of it. Parachuting Gallery. Basically parachuting down like a beanstalk, and on the top screen it tells you what square you have to aim for. You move around, try to bump your way into it, and bump your opponents out of the right squares. Fine minigame, very simple, not too much to say. If it comes on, cool. If it doesn't, cool, you know? And that's why it goes in the C tier. Boo Tag is a fun little strategy game. So someone gets tagged by the boo in the beginning, and its timers start going up. You look to tag others to no longer be it, and the least amount of time wins. I think it's a fun tag mini game though, like I was saying, and it goes in the B tiers. Next, we have Dust Buddies. So this is easily one of the best. You run away from a vacuum cleaner while it picks up and shoots around debris on the ground. So like there might be rubber balls that might launch into you, knocks you over, you get sucked up. Or there's like the ribbons on the ground, buttons that slow you down, etc. One of the best. Try to be either the last one standing or make it to the wardrobe at the end, which is a win. S tier. Cyber Scamper. It's a fun one. You're basically trapped in like a TV or arcade of some sort. The platform your way to the end, or even be the last one standing. So you see light squares. There's like two colors. They flicker on and off. So that's what makes it difficult. You have to remember where's the actual platform and when's to fall into your death. I'm admittedly very bad at this one, which makes you like it less. No, it's unfair, but it is what it is. Still, I really think it's a great minigame, and it goes in the A tier. Next, we have Soap Surfers. It's an evolution of bumper balls. Basically, you're on a bar of soap, a little sink. You try to bump the others out, be the last one standing. It's good. I like bumper balls, right? And it's just that with slightly different physics. However, I can't really give it too much point for originality. Still a good time, though. And that's why I'd give it B tier. Sweet Sleuth sees you pick the right candy for a Shy Guy and make sure it's the right shape and color, as it's 3 colors and I think 2 shape. I think there's a more interesting version of this. We have to be the fastest to do it in a way. Every character gets their own individual one they have to give Shy Guy. I think it'd be more interesting if there's just like a few we had to pick and the fastest one gives it to him, and if you miss out, then you're behind. I think that's way more interesting than just having each your own individual candy you have to pick. And because of that, it's C tier. I think this could be executed better, but it just unfortunately was not. Next, we have Tidal Fools. This is a coin minigame, a kind of boring one. Basically, a wave rocks up to shore. You try to avoid it. If you get knocked out, you can't collect any of the coins. If you can, you just kind of collect all the coins. It's pretty simple, pretty easy, kind of boring. I think it's one of the worst coin games. D tier, not that much to say. Next, we have Raft Riot. This is fun. It's just like a boat racing minigame. It's very simple. It's a one nice quick lap, so it's not too long. I think the controls are a bit slippery. It's in the water, so I guess you could argue that makes some sense, but You wish there's a bit more control to it. I give it A tier. I think it was a bit better control. I might give it an S, but for now I'm sticking with A. And the last free-for-all minigame we got is All Geared Up. So you're racing inside gears of a clockwards upwards, and first to the top wins. Basically, you have to platform well, as some platforms will move or disappear shortly, stuff like that. I prefer this over Cyber Scamper in terms of the platforming races. I like it a lot more, and it goes in the S tier. I think this is just a great overall minigame. Next, we have the battle minigame. So this only appears if like a battle event shows up. First, we have Cheap Chump. This is the better version of the Thwomp one I was talking about earlier. Basically, swim around in a pond and avoid trying to get bored by the fish, and they'll spit you back out. The swimming I prefer. I think it's a bit more strategy. There's 3 different size cheap, so there's different like pools they suck you into, different sizes. And as they move around a bit more, as the womps are kind of stuck to their individual size, these ones can move around within the rectangle. I think it's a more interesting version of it. Not still like my favorites throughout the game, but I think it's still really good, and I give it a B tier. Next, we have Star Catchers. This is a nice simple one that's executed very well. You see stars flash across the bottom screen and you tap on them to collect them. And if you shoot a shooting star, you get bonus points. Pretty simple. I like the premise though, and it's executed very well. Shows a nice little constellation at the end once all your collected stars. And also keeps you engaged for up to 30 seconds, which is good, as sometimes minigames, you know, after like 20 seconds, like, okay, I want this to be over. 30 seconds, so you're kind of glued to your screen the whole time, which is good. And it goes in the A tier with that. I think it's just a great minigame. Next, we have Short Fuse. Awesome. Great minigame. Basically, all like inside like a barn, and you should take turns blowing the mic on the fuse of a bomb. Every time someone blows, it blows the fuse, and then eventually it blows up on the person. And eventually, you want to be the last one standing, as then it goes to 3 people, then 2 people, and then the last one standing wins. Can't just not blow, or else it will automatically just blow up on you. And you have to do some strategy with it, like how much do you want to blow, and you have to be really precise with it, as it does go down automatically a little bit as well. So you try to do as little as you possibly can if you're close to it, or if you want to try to do like the maximum blow, take off as much as you can. There's a lot of strategy with it. I think it's just a great minigame. S tier, one of the best easily. Globe Gunners. This one's a bit of a clunky third-person shooter. I like the concept a lot. You basically run around a globe and try to shoot others with a paintball, and then the highest score wins. Really cool concept. It just doesn't feel right. The moving feels off, the aiming feels weird, and then eventually once you just run into one person, you just try and stick to them and try and shoot them if you can. You don't really try and find the other 2. It could have been executed better, is the best way I can say it, and that's why I have to put it in the C tier. So this is the last of the battle minigames, and it's Chips in Depth. Again, luck minigame. I really like this luck minigame though. So basically you pick a card, hope it's the highest value, and they added stakes to it each round. So second round they add a card that's worth 10 points, and this third round they add a card that is a Bowser card which halves your score. So there's a bit of luck if you're into that. If you're not into that, you're not going to enjoy it. I like the added stakes with each round. It kind of fits with the poker theme of it, and that's why I give it the A tier. Now, getting into the 2v2s, we start with probably one of the worst minigames in the entire game. This is Soil Toil. It's like that obstacle course type minigame, however, in this really jankily controlled car where each teammate spins a wheel. Problem is, it's mobile. A lot of time you're going to be playing by yourself, and then you can't really communicate well with the computer. It just sucks. Even I think if you're playing with a friend, this would suck. F tier, it's horrible. Get it out of here. The worst. Okay, next, Double Vision. This was the one I was talking about tracing that's a lot better. So each team's gonna be a picture of a Mario enemy, and there's 2 colors on it. You have your respective color, and you have to trace that. You each get scored on your tracing, and the highest score wins overall. Great evolution of the jackhammer minigame, and it works very well in this team environment, and that's why I give it an A tier. Memory Mash. Just memory. Trying to use a brain dead CPU sucks. If you have someone there to talk with, it's fine. You can coordinate a lot better with a CPU. You just like hoping they know what you're doing, but they don't. C tier, it's fine. It's just memory. Cube Crushers. This is a fun one. So you're stuck in a freezer. You must break ice open to open a door 3 times, a button on each side, and the first one out wins. I think it's a cool idea for a concept, and I think it's executed very well. And it's a good use of hazards and power-ups, as a star could pop up, which gives you some invincibility, or like a little urchin pops up, and then it makes you stuck in the ice, and your partner has to come out and break you out. So you try to avoid that if you can. Ice physics can be a bit annoying to deal with, and CPUs sometimes got stuck in blocks, I found. That's still a fun time, and I'd give it the A tier. Still a great minigame. Mole, both partners carry a spoon as they try to like run away from Monty Mole the fastest. First one to the end wins, get out of like a cave. Sometimes it's rocks blocking your path, and you have to time your thing. So if you both time it at the same time, your spoon hits, then you go in a straight line, it's a bit faster. Otherwise, whoever goes first, you go in their direction. So if the top person hits it first, then you're going to go up, the bottom person hits it first, and they go down. That's where the skill comes in when knowing how to time your presses. I think it's a solid game. Not too much to say about it. I still enjoy it a lot, but not like an A tier amount. I think it's going to be in the B tier. Sprinkler crawler. So you crawl over sprinkler the fastest you can, and you have to twist to move the screws out of the way, either to the left or the right, otherwise you can't move up. You must hit the same direction as your partner, or else you fall down and you lose your progress, and the first one to reach the top wins. Like similar to Molefro, I find this is a really solid doubles game. However, I don't think it stands out too much. It's just kind of like a fine minigame, and I give it a B tier. Next is Cucumber Jacks, which is you swipe the sides as fast as you can left to right. Childhood favorite of mine, still fun and quick minigame. It doesn't take too long, nice fun time. It also works as a dual minigame, so it can't be used as a 1v1, but it is fun. And I give it an A tier, a very great minigame. Next we have Hanger Management. Either two of you or one of you, you're going down on a hangrail. If you keep it flat, you go faster. However, you have to dodge obstacles throughout the way by leaning to one side, and then you want to go back to the middle to go back faster. I love the idea and the execution for this racing game. I think it's a nice bit of coordination, and it's really fun. I give it an S tier. I think it's one of the better racing games. Next we have Book It. This is basically a doubles version of the domino one. You have to do the buttons in a predetermined pattern though. You're basically both grabbing your ruler, try to make it to the top of books, the stack of books the fastest. I think this is a fine mashing team game, but doesn't stand out too much, and I'd rather just play the domino one, and that's why I go in the C tier. Airbrushers. This is a coin minigame. It's You flap wings in unison to either go higher or lower to pick up coins. I don't think it's too original to kind of flap together, but it just kind of translates to a coin minigame. It's executed fine, but the theming of it's a bit generic. I'd probably put it in the D tier. It's not that great. Next we have Toppling Terror. Everyone blows on the mic on the DS as hard as they can for about 5 seconds and try to knock the thwomp over the other side to crush the opponents. Again, fine. It's a pretty fine game, pretty simple. However, I think it's elevated by, again, the fineness of just blowing the mic as hard as you can. And especially if you're in a public place, someone just looks over, what are you doing? B tier. I think it's a fun minigame. Next we have Crazy Crosshairs. Each team makes control crosshairs of vertical and horizontal. And the first shot locks the axis, the second shot shoots the bug, and the highest score wins. You can't shoot gold bugs that give you extra points. It's a good idea for a doubles game executed okay. It just does not stick with me like other ones. Like even like the mole and the sprinkler mini games I mentioned earlier, I like those a bit more than this one, which is why I put this one in the C tier. Last one is one I'm a bit of a sucker for, Shorty Scores. You're just playing basically handball, and with your teammate, highest score wins. I think I'm a sucker for little sports mini games, and this is a nice change of pace from the soccer. Usually you just take a soccer score in one net. I think it's a nice little change from that, nice little evolution, even though in essence it is the same. However, really fun, S tier, I love it. Now, in the 1v3 mini games, we start off with Power Washer. The 3 tries to avoid being blasted by the water by the 1. The 3 just move around and jump over the water if they can, and the 1 spins the water with the stylus in a circle and tries to hit them with it. It does feel tougher for the 1 even when the second beam of water gets added in the last 10 seconds of the game. I like the theming of it, like you're stuck in a dishwasher and like the 3 are acting like the dirt and the 1's trying to clean it off. I think it's not the most balanced, which kind of hinders it. It's still a fun time, I think, if it comes up, and I give it a solid B tier. Next is Peekaboo. Fun story with this one I'll tell at the end, but you move around the screen and tap on the designated boo, and the highest score wins, whoever clicks the most essentially. If you're the 1, you get a bigger and faster view so you can move around faster and see more. The 3 have smaller and separate views, so they cover more ground like independently, but they can't move as fast. So that's kind of the trade-off, which I think is a decent, good way of balancing it. And it ends once all that singular boo are caught. It could be like a specific hat or a color. That's usually how it works. I think it's a fun minigame. However, I hate this one. It traumatized me as a child, because if you pick the wrong boo, it comes up and jump scares you. It scared the shit out of me, and anytime this minigame come up, I'd quit the game and restart it because I did not want to play it because it scared me so much. I have to put it in the F tier for the personal trauma it caused me. Fuck this game. Next, a very fun Fast Food Frenzy. The 1 uses the bottom screen to place food, 3 uses the top screen to walk around and avoid the conveyor belt, ends if any of the 3 survive till the end, or if all 3 get knocked off by the food. This one's very overpowered for the 1. You can just chuck the food on very fast, overwhelm them. However, I like the theming a lot for this. I think it's still a fun time, even if very unbalanced. With that, I can't really give it the highest rating, but I still love it a lot. I'd give it an A tier, easy. Track Star. Oh, this is not fair. Okay, so the 1 chases the 3 down with a train to run them over. 3 times, the direction must be chosen by both the runners in the train. After the switch into tracks, the train has the chance to run over the runner if they can outmash them, if they're on the same path. Otherwise, they just watch on from the other path. In 3 attempts of this, if any of the 3 survive, they win. Very unfair. Just very, very unfair. Even after winning a corn flip, you need to outmash, so if you're not a good masher, you're already screwed there. And on the last one, if 2 people are alive, you just go opposite directions, you win. Easy to collude. D tier, not that great. Next, Shuffleboard Showdown. The one tries to hit the 3 with poker chips and before the time runs out. I think it's a lot more strategic version of Fast Food Frenzy. You can use different speeds for shooting chips, and you can bake them off each other. I think it still favors the one a bit, especially with the falling chips coming down at random. So I'd still give it an A tier. Personally, I do prefer Fast Food Frenzy, even though this one's probably a bit more balanced than it. I still think this is a good time though. Next, we have Flash and Dash. You place in a maze, the 3 try to catch one before the time runs out. Every player gets an indicator if they're close to the other teams, so if all 5 light up red, then you know you're close. I think it's a standard minigame. Feels like maybe better without the indicator, make it a bit more fair to like the 1, but I think it's fine. It's a C tier. Like if it comes on, whatever. Next is Rubber Ducky Rodeo. So the one leads a chain of rubber duckies and tries to throw off the 3 on their little rubber duckies before the time runs out, and can either throw them off to the left or the right. To balance, basically if you pull to the right, you try to bounce to the left, and vice versa on the other side. Computers are dumb. With this one, if you just hold to one side long enough, they will die. I do like the theming a lot of this though, and I think there's a good amount of strategy to this. I like it how it's basically just like a 2 big mini game, but with rubber ducks. A tier. I think it's a great time. Next, we have Plush Crush. So the 3 use the bomb screen, select the plush, and drag it inside the claw machine, try to squish the 1. The 1 tries to run away from the plush on the top screen. I like the concept. Not fair at all, really. It feels very one-sided. I think there's probably a better way to, there might have been a better way to balance this. I don't know. But it's just kind of, with that kind of hinders a lot in my opinion. It goes down to C tier. I do like the theming a lot though, but yeah, C tier is where I stick with this one. Next, we have Rotisserie Rampage. So, the 1 spins to me trying to knock off the 3 before the time expires. I think this is pretty well balanced for the 1v3, which is a very big compliment. I love the theming a lot for this one. How it's like a Shy Guy roasting the meat, and you're trying to direct him how to knock them off. S tier, usually, I think one of the best 1v3 minigames. Next, we have Nothing to Lose. So, the 1 loses by themselves on a spoon, and the 3 lose together like in a shoe. The first one to the finish line wins, and you have to time turns with the curves in the course. As you do too early, too late, it will slow you down as you head up against the wall. I think it's a good idea for a race course. I am assuming how it works is that the 3 can go faster together, but it's harder for them to turn and be on the same course, and it's easier to mess up as one person turns wrong and then you're in trouble. Otherwise, don't really know the difference between like the 1 and the 3. I probably might favor the 1 a bit with that. Otherwise, I think it's a good minigame though. I think it's a fun time. Nothing too extraordinary though, which is why I put it in the B tier. Next, we have Penny Pinchers. And this one, it's a 1v3 minigame. The 1 tries to grab coins as they're falling out of the chest on the top screen. If they fall off the ledge, the 3 can trap it on the bottom screen. Also, marbles come out, which can knock you out for the 1. It's a fine coin minigame. I don't think there's anything special about it, which is like my most opinions of coin minigames, which is why I put it in the C tier. It's fine though. Last 1v3, we have Gusty Blizzard. So the 1 blows on the mic, try and make the 3 threes, and turn them into snowmen before time runs out. The 3 have to kind of rub the character for studs very quickly to try and keep them warm, and then once they hit 0 degrees, basically, then they turn into the snowman. I like the pacing of this one a lot more. Since it's a mic game, they know, and you're blowing, they know you can't do it for too long, so it's only 10 seconds versus like a normal 30 second. I really like the concept of it, and I think it's executed very well, which is why I'd put it in the A tier. Okay, last thing. We have the boss battles, which probably the weakest part of this game, which I'll get into. So first you have Feed and Seed. This is against Piranha Plant. Basically, you're floating with a balloon. There's bombs on the side. Piranha Plant sucks them up, shoots them out. You try to catch it, and then when he's trying to suck you back in, shoot the bomb back down at him, and explodes. You do this 3 times and you win. I remember as a child, this game was the bane of my existence. It was so hard. I remember I had to get my sister to beat it for me because I didn't know how to do it. I think it's still one of the harder ones. Just depends how good you are at mashing, really. But I think it's good, and I put it in the B tier. Next, we have Hammer Chime. This one is pretty boring. It's just like a rhythm game. Hammer Bro hits a few notes. You hit him back. You play it back before like in a certain time limit before you take damage. I think it's very basic and uninteresting. And of all the boss fights, it's definitely the most bland. I feel like this one is just like tapping the bottom screen. I give it an F tier. Honestly, I think this could have done way better. Next is Hexoskeleton. This one it's okay. I feel like this is them repurposing stuff from Mario Party DS. So Magic Dry Bones tries to walk around and attack you. Really easy and not that interesting, unfortunately. What you do is basically get to hit like little buttons on the side in the correct order. First 1, then 2, then 3. And since you have 5 hearts for all these boss mini games, it's not really. You just kind of walk around. But if you get hit once, you still have like 4 hits you can take. You're gonna be fine. They might have been able to execute it better. I'm not too sure, but I think kind of D tier. Next, I'd say is the best boss minigame. That is Book Bash. So first you fly through an obstacle library course, which I think is fun. Shoot down books to approach you with an ink ball. And then the next phase, you actually fight Kamek. You shoot ink in their face enough times to cause a freak out, throws a bunch more books at you, and then hits himself in the head with a book. After the third time, they're for the point. I think out of all the boss battles, this one's probably the most interesting idea, and it's executed the best. However, compared to other normal minigames, I don't think it really stands up too far clear above them. I'd give it a B tier, but if you debate me, you like this one a lot, I get it. Just personally, I think it's good. Not great or anything more. Next, the last one, the final boss of the story mode, you have Bowser's Block Party. For whatever reason, turns himself into blocks to attack you in 3 different forms. And there's one golden block, basically the one you attack. And he's basically like a tornado block, a big cube, and then like a snake, which is probably the most interesting. I guess for a Bowser fight, you could say it's creative. However, I think the scale of it kind of hurts it a bit. Like, you fight a big Dry Bones, that's cool, but you're not going to fight like a big Bowser. I think that would have been a bit more interesting. C tier. I think they probably could have done better with this minigame. It's just kind of interesting, unfortunately. Now, that is all the Mario Party DS minigames ranked. Just remember, this was my objective opinion, but you can leave yours in the comments down below. Thank you for watching this long, and with all that said, Ptok out.